Hands at all times, keep the ball clean. Touch them up. Go back to your corners, good luck.
Ojeda, Meza Clay scheduled for 10.
Well, you just heard Saul say back, 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 back. Like Chris Berman does once in a while on Sunday afternoons, getting ready for the NFL. Don't expect Clay to go back, back, back. Expect him to go forward all night long. That's his thing.
Let's go.
And if I'm Ojeda, if I'm in the corner and I develop the fight plan, I'm looking to control range, control distance, make him, as I often say, make Clay pay for real estate. Earn his way in.
(5'2", 134 pounds is Meza Clay. 5'7", 135 is what Ojeda checked in at.
Clay's tough guy. So is Ojeda. I've seen it. Seen him on the floor. I've seen him come off the floor and cut and come off the floor to win a fight. But he's also flawed. He's still not developed fully, in my estimation, Ojeda. It's going to be up to Clay to find those flaws, exploit those flaws. One thing Clay doesn't do well, Joe, and I don't understand it, to be honest with you. He's been around 12 and a half years. He should have learned how to cut a ring down by now. And he's going to have to cut the ring down against Ojeda, who's going to use the ring.
Yeah, continuing the circle here.
Step back, let him out, let's go.
Clay has fought the much better opposition. Clay has been able to win maybe at the B-, maybe that's the fair way to grade it, the B- level, but he has lost whenever he stepped up above that. Always. So for me the question is, what level is Ojeda? Going to find out, I guess.
Ojeda's had some success with right hands in his first round.
Clay would help himself pressing if he would use a jab as he presses. That would take away some of the jabs of Ojeda, some of the pot shotting of Ojeda that he's liable to do as Clay comes in. Like that right hand,
yeah,
maybe
no jab there.
Yeah, maybe that right hand doesn't come from Ojeda if Clay uses his jab. As I say, put bugs on the windshield. You know, when you're pressing a guy, blur his vision a little bit with the jab.
Pick him up.
The left hand of Clay drops when he moves his head. That's why he's exposed when he moves his head to his right. The right hand is, and that right hand almost got in there. The right hand has a clear path to the chin of Clay because the left hand's down, and again, he lays on the right side.
Yep, seen plenty of it here in this first round. Pretty good opening round for the unbeaten Ray Ojeda. You can vote and score along with Teddy at ESPNVote.com/FNF or the Facebook page. Here's a 34-year-old Monty Meza Clay, 12-year pro from Pittsburgh. He says he's had a string of tragedies surrounding him in his life over the course of the past year. He says he's been to far too many funerals and he's trying to draw upon some inspiration to fight for some lost loved ones. He's got a tough challenge tonight. Ray Ojeda in our main event. Unbeaten fighter from Puerto Rico standing opposite him.
One of the things he's going to have to deal with, I think, I'm going to say it now, I think he's going to have to deal, I hope not, but I think he's going to have to deal with blood, with cuts. I don't know that he had time to heal completely from the bad cut over his left and right eye, especially his left eye.
You can still see that scar tissue.
Well, he's got scar tissue, and it's vulnerable. So cut over both eyes from head clashes in his last fight. Took 15 stitches. That's bad cuts. I don't think that they're completely healed. And as I said, there's scar tissue, so there's vulnerability there. He's been involved in a lot of head clashes. No surprise. You see his style. He's got a lot of scar tissue. And on the other side, his opponent, Ojeda, well, he's been involved in head clashes too. He's been cut in 2 fights from head clashes. So I'm going to say if there was a betting line on a cut, I'd bet on it.
It's interesting to hear the story that Meza Clay tells about that fight that you were referring to back in November, of saying, listen, I got cut in the second round. It was pretty bad. And I thought to myself, this may stop right here, but I'm going to fight on. He gets cut in the third round. And he was describing it as he was just fighting blind. He was touching a guy and putting his hands out there to feel where the guy was and just going almost on night vision of sorts. But he fought on and went on to lose the decision back in November. But he said, it was one of those things where I really thought, hey, I can get a no contest out of this. I can just say I can't see. And he decided to fight through it.
We talked about the first fight tonight, Joe, how important it is to get your fights in a certain place. How telling it is where do you fight and what your opposition is. Most of the fights for Clay have been in West Virginia. He's 22-0 there. And he's had a lot of fights in Pennsylvania, too. He's 13-1 in Pennsylvania. He's 0-3 in Texas, Mexico, and Florida. He probably doesn't want to go there too often. If Clay can't go to the body, he's going to lose his fight. He's got to get inside, go to the body, take some of the air out of those wheels of Ojeda.
There he is on the inside, but he tied up, and now back at range where the right hands get him coming forward. He's coming forward, needing right hands.
Yeah, he's got a flaw, and I'm surprised after 12 and a half years they haven't corrected that flaw. And again, you can see Clay just moves that head, lays on the right side like we said in the fight plan, right in the alleyway of that right hand. What he does do, and take a look at this, I'll talk about it the next round. Kind of interesting.
The FA Cup Final.
In his corner with Tommy Yankello, veteran Pittsburgh trainer. He's worked many corners of many fighters we've had through the years. Of course, many trips out there to see Paul Spadafora many years ago. Meza Clay fights in Pittsburgh and the West Virginia area. And he comes here to Hartford to face the undefeated Ray Ojeda from Puerto Rico, who's been finding a home for that right hand as Meza Clay's coming forward.
It's just like we talked about in the fight plan. Again, I'm shocked after 12 and a half years, 40 fights, that Clay just hasn't been corrected. Clay keeps coming. We promised you that.
And that time it was an uppercut that met him as he stepped forward.
Unfortunately, he keeps eating right hands as he comes.
A little check.
And there's
another right hand, time and time again, all too consistent as Ojeda is in control.
Now, one thing,
from Meza Clay.
Joe, I'll point out something that Clay tries to do. It's not working. But, again, he's got that terrible flaw of laying his head on the right and getting hit with those right hands because of it. But what he does with his right hand every once in a while, he'll take his right hand and he'll move it over to the left side to try to block the right hand and then move it back to the right side in case the hook comes.
There it is.
There it is. Now, if I'm in the corner of Ojeda. I've seen it already. I've watched my film. I've done my work, and I'm ready for that. And I'm going to tell Ojeda, listen, you see how he moves his right hand over to the left side to block your right hand? Show him the right hand. Let his right hand move over there and throw the left hook instead. And you'll catch him naked with that left hook because the right hand will not be in position for the left hook. It'll be over on the left side.
Meza Clay with a moment of success in the middle of round 3. So now he touches him with the right hand. You hear his corner calling out for the jab, but it's been absent throughout.
And the body work, Joe, for me, that's where Clay has to concentrate. Again, what is Ojeda doing every round? Using his legs. So, go to the body. Take some air, again, out of those tires.
There was a right hand to the body. Meza Clay now gets to the inside. They tie up for a moment. He's still punching on the inside. Placed the right hand to the left side of Ojeda. Both men opening up with right hands. Clay targets the body and then the right hand from Ojeda upstairs.
A little better round for Clay. He's getting close. He's getting in, but he's got to do a little bit better job of creating offense when he gets in there. In other words, putting his hands on Ojeda. You get in there, you work so hard to get in there because you're the guy who has to take all the chances coming forward. You better do something when you get there, better than what you just did there. Again, I think that Clay should be going downstairs.
Ojeda,
the right hand
again. Right hand again. So he's laying the head out to that side. Good stuff here in round 3. Short break. Stay with us. Joe and Teddy in the midst of our main event here. It's Tommy and Kello putting forth the instructions to Monty Meza Clay.
The bucket, come on. Keep it clean, fellas. Let him out, let him out. That's it.
And there you see again the right hand. Overhead view might be a little harder to pick it up, but the right hand landing, crashing on Clay, that same floor.
From range that time from Ojeda. College-educated Puerto Rican fighter who someday wants to be a teacher, but right now the target is to try to fight for a title.
Yeah, the classroom is the ring.
That's right.
And the lesson is distance. How to control distance, geometry, angles. And that's what he's showing right now. Angles, keeping Clay, who's very square-footed, keeping him off bounds a little bit.
The time he tagged the left hand on the back end of the right, went to the body with it.
See, this is a great, talk about a classroom, this would be a great lesson in the classroom to young fighters of ineffective aggression. Because Clay is bringing it. He's coming, but he's not being effective. Not jabbing on his way in, not going to the body.
That time he sent a little up jab off the hip. Trying to get to the inside, didn't fire off there.
Not cutting the ring down, Clay. Following, giving exits to Ojeda. Can't give him exits. Got to take those exits away. You got to move like a linebacker in football. Parallel, down the line. Not follow him around. You follow him around, he goes out the side door.
Fans at home felt the third round was a little closer, as we noted the best work from Meza Clay, but still 3 rounds to zip for Ojeda. You can vote at ESPNvote.com/FNF or the Facebook page for Friday Night Fights.
See, if I'm in Ojeda's corner, I might tell him to sit a little more. I know he's moving all over the place, trying to keep Clay from getting in, keep more balance. He's trying to do an alley on Frazier, so to speak. But I tell him to sit down a little bit, control range that way. You don't have to run all over the place and do that. Nail him some real hard shots, some serious shots, some well-planted shots. That'd be one way to keep Clay from coming forward. See, I think there's a spot here for Ojeda to sit right now and do that. Nail him with shots coming in. Just like he did there. Doesn't have to move quite that much. Somebody teach Clay how to cut the ring down.
Ojeda, time and time again, getting out the side door, circling, having his way. End of 4 here in Hartford. More of our main event to come.
What we were talking about in the fight plan, Clay leans his head on the right side, leaves himself wide open to a right hand. That's why Clay is going to have to take some Tylenol tomorrow to get rid of the headache from all those right hands.
Ojeda trying to get himself to 17-0 if he can stay the course here against the veteran Meza Clay. Warning from Danny Schiavone.
There he goes again. Meza Clay getting caught again with the right hand. Twice there. Leaning on the right side. Now watch the right hand of Meza Clay. He will move that right hand over. Try to block the right hand coming. But that's an opportunity, as I said earlier, I think, for Ojeda, then to show him the right hand and then come with the left hook. What do you want me to say here, our great fans at home? Want me to yell more about Clay not cutting the ring down, or not jabbing his way in, or not going to the body enough? Your choice. There's a good shot by Clay. Gets in close, but then he lets him out. Does not behave like a linebacker. Does not move his feet parallel down the line, keeping his man in front of him. He gives him an out. So I want to say real quick that the Dr. Allen Foundation helped to send a class of kids from PS 57 on Staten Island, great kid, to Akron, Ohio to compete in the All-American Soapbox Derby.
Oh, that's great.
Want to wish them good luck. I met them. They are tremendous kids. I'm proud of them. They were part of a science project, and they earned their way there.
Meza Clay scored a right hand there moments ago. Good for them, Teddy.
They're great kids. What I should also say, and there's some body work, you know, that's a good way to slow down. Somebody keeps coming at you. Go to the body, put a little water in the basement, and that'll slow down a guy coming forward. And that's exactly what Ojeda is thinking and doing. Now Ojeda's sitting down. Now he's not moving around. Now he's making Clay truly pay for real punches. Hard punches.
Clearly affected
yes, he
by
is.
that left hand.
This is what I was waiting for when I said 2 rounds ago, Ojeda doesn't have to move quite this much. He can sit there and punish Clay a little bit.
There was a right hand that was driven down in the midst of that exchange that scored very well for Ojeda.
Good body shot.
Left hand to the body.
Yeah, that's hurting Clay. And there's the right hand again, leaving his head on that side. See, I like what Ojeda's doing now. Now he's looking like a real prospect because he's settled down and he's doing what he should do. He recognized it.
Very strong Final minute of this 5th round, and here comes Meza Clay now, standing right in the pocket.
And another right hand. Thanks to Clay leaving his head again over on the right side. There's a slow-mo look at it, and you see the effect of that right hand. From Ojeda to Clay. There's the right hand again.
To open up round number 6.
Did not take
right
long.
Back to business is the undefeated Ojeda.
And right back to being on his bicycle a little bit. But I think he's going to find spots to sit a little bit again.
5'2", Monty Meza Clay, as he's done his whole career, continues to come forward. Needs another right hand. Not corralling Ojeda at all.
Yeah, Clay was off 6 months coming into this fight. If you go back 3 fights, he was off 1 year and 5 months. The reason I say that is because he needs vacations. When you take the kind of punishment he takes, and he's taking tonight, you need some time off.
30 stitches after his last fight. It was cut from a clash ahead in the 2nd round over the right eye, and then the very next round, another clash opened up a cut over the other eye in the 3rd round of his last fight.
Yeah, I'm glad nothing's opened up, but I'm surprised it hasn't, because I see the redness around and the scar tissue getting red around the eyes of Clay. All but 1 fight for Ojeda. I talked about where Clay's fights have been. All but 1 fight for Ojeda has been in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. This is his 2nd fight here in the good old USA. Although Puerto Rico is a United States territory.
They're off the tape. Let's go.
Ready to play Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Geography for $100.
Well, the geography, Mr. Tessitore, for $100, the daily double. It goes to Ojeda. He is controlling exactly where he wants to be and where he doesn't want to be. Getting off those ropes, doesn't want to be there. Wants to have a little range where he can land that right hand.
I'm out.
Here's where Clay has to keep him in front of him.
Right in this spot right here.
Stop.
Clay's trying. Give him credit. I mean, he put,
he'll always do that.
You know, he put his left arm around him and didn't even grab the rope, trying to lock.
He was going to be like a typewriter guy, sending the old typewriter back to the right.
Exactly. You know, stay right here. Don't go over there. Stay right here. But Ojeda is smarter than that. Not staying right there. No jab from Clay. He's getting picked apart coming in.
great fighters through the years. Of course, an area that produced one of the all-time pound-for-pound greats in Willie Pep, but another featherweight champion of yesteryear, Matt Battolino. Battolino grew up in a neighborhood where this Connecticut Convention Center now sits. And here's Meza Clay coming out to the inside and pressing the action to open up round number 7. Was able to score to the body. But Ojeda once again able to box on the inside, circle left and right. Can't contain him all night long. It's been a very easy to read, clean sweep on Teddy's scorecard. And the fans at home see it the same way. That time, Ojeda off balance. Of course, you can vote along with Teddy and the ringside judges. ESPNvote.com and then /FNF or the Friday Night Fight Facebook page.
Clay's just throwing punches. Ojeda is placing punches. Like that. Smart punches. Thought out punches. Punches that make sense. Punches that land. And again, Clay, no idea how to cut the ring down. You know, I want to mention, we showed the promoter, Curtis Jackson, a.k.a. 50 Cent, on the film before. We know he has money. Everybody understands that. They also understand he made a lot of money, being a rapper and selling vitamin water. But what they might not know is that he takes care of a lot of the inner city youth. Matter of fact, he gave 50 tickets, him and his terrific assistant, Monique, gave 50 tickets to my Dr. Atlas Foundation, Joe, to have kids from the inner city, kids that normally would never have a chance to go to a fight, to come to this fight tonight.
That's great.
And he does a lot of that. Got to give him credit for that.
This is where Curtis had his promotional debut here at this Connecticut Convention Center. Lives nearby in suburban Farmington. And every time we've been here, a big crowd is on hand.
Yeah, good crowd. But as I said, he gave tickets. We got the right kids from our incentive programs that we ask them to do better, to behave better, do better in school.
You have measurables that they meet.
Yeah, and we reward them. And 50 Cent, the promoter, gave us the reward this time, and I know he's also done it for other groups too. Easy money so far for Ojeda.
Just got to pick those moments, catch Meza Clay coming in. And
there it is. He hurt Meza Clay a little bit there. Might want to start putting 2 together instead of 1.
Did well in the 5th round.
They're hyped for next week. Here we are, as am I, for the Boxino Finals, May 22nd from Corona, California. In the heavyweights, it's Andre Fedosov and Donovan Dennis. In the junior middleweights, Brandon Adams and John Thompson, Joe.
Should be good, Todd. The finals of the Boxino heavyweight tournament, as well as the 154-pound tournament. Brandon Adams has been a great story over the course of the past 2 years. Will be out in Corona, California. The last of the Friday Night Fight labeled ESPN boxing cards before ESPN goes to the new format of the PBC come this summer. And it comes with the tournament finals of Boxino. Of course, on a weekend where somebody has graduated from Boxino and takes a step forward. As Willie Monroe will take on Triple G. 2 years of Boxino. Seen the 4 tournaments, and some good has come of it in terms of fighters able to advance themselves, able to grow. Monroe's a great success story just to reach this point.
And a terrific kid.
He really is.
A real gentleman.
Yep. I also look at Brandon Adams and see the growth and development he's had in the course of the past 2 years.
Another kid with a bright future. And a kid who benefited very much from the tournament, profile, or the tournament format, where you can fight every 5 weeks, every 6 weeks, and you can develop right in front of our eyes, right in front of the fans' eyes.
You guaranteed blood, right, Teddy? You said it was a sure thing. Well, there was a clash moments ago, and you immediately saw Meza Clay wipe at his brow. And there is the blood. Remember, he had 15 stitches over each eye in his last fight in November, and now you see him pawing at it and dealing with it and trying to get the blood out of that right eye.
As if he didn't have enough problems. And I'm sorry I was right about it. But it was inevitable, the way I looked at it. And there's that right hand that's inevitable. If you lay your head on the right side, you're going to get hit with right hand. See, I've been talking about what he's doing wrong all night, and I'm shocked. With all this experience, he hasn't corrected it. Because every time I've seen him fight, he's always done this wrong. The right thing to do with your play is when you slip your head to the right, Joe, weave back, bend, weave back to the left side. Get underneath that right hand and finish on the left side where you're outside that right hand, and then you can use your left hook to make your opponent keep the right hand at home.
And yet another right hand from Ojeda.
Justin, you can visualize it. Next time he slips his head to his right, if he would, instead of laying there, weave back to his left, he'd be okay.
Make a
ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. And in part by KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you, KFC? And last round, watch the heads of Meza Clay and Ojeda come together, and we saw the cut that it produced on Meza Clay's brow.
And we see why both guys are involved in head clashes. They both lean forward with their heads.
Gotta move these guys out.
Ojeda,
Anything out?
he was fortunate enough
Gotta be quicker than
to
that guy.
have
Let's go.
his head lower.
Come on.
But he got hit on top of the head, no damage. Clay gets hit around the eyes, and there's damage.
There's a slip there in the blue corner.
Get that water up.
And some water down on the signage, and just wasn't enough to hold up that right foot.
No jab on the way in by Clay, and nothing to stop the pot shotting by Ojeda.
Combination punch from Ojeda in the score, and then just a little stop and pop with the left hand. And there's a right hand that comes straight down from Meza Clay. Probably his best work in a few rounds right there.
I'll tell you one thing, if linebackers in football use their legs the way Clay does in boxing, they never make a tackle.
No, be a lot of long runs.
A lot of long runs. They'd be following the runner as he's coming out of the backfield, following him instead of cutting him off. Instead of going parallel down the line where they're right in front of him, they would go behind him.
There's a good example of it right there, Teddy.
Perfect example.
As he just went down, instead of going down off to the left side with Ojeda, he came straight and was left with nothing in front of him.
Exactly, and you can visualize what we're talking about. if you've ever watched a football game. You know, a linebacker's got to go parallel down that line. Keep that running back in front of him. The way Clay does it, let that running back go around the end every time. And he's allowing Ojeda to go around the end every time. Aggressive game is Clay, but not effective. That's why he doesn't win above the level I said before the first punch was thrown.
Still chasing and often throwing and not finding Ojeda.
Right. Let's go. Let's go.
Cut has opened up worse here. There was an uppercut in the mix of that exchange.
Ojeda could sit down again now on some big punches again, if he wants to, and maybe end this.
We'll have one round to try to get after it. For men, and it came from Louis Rosa in our co-feature, Teddy.
The uppercut. Guy leans forward. Wow. That's all you do. You bring it up.
So Rosa, who's a Connecticut fighter, here in Hartford tonight, earns our punch of the night. He heads back home to New Haven with a 20-0 mark. And this man, Ray Ojeda, is trying to head back home with a 17-0 mark if he can get through this 10th round. The script hasn't changed from start to finish. It's been much the same.
I think Ojeda might want to score. Now he's moving, but if he sits, you know, it's kind of like baseball. You got a fastball coming in 100 miles an hour, and then you got a quick bat hitting the fastball coming in 100 miles an hour. That ball's going to go somewhere, out of the park. Well, you got Clay coming in 60 miles an hour or something like that, and you got Ojeda. If he sits down and nails him coming in, it's going to go out of the park.
2 times now when he backs up towards his own corner, he has slipped. There's the right hand again. Opportunities always existing here for Ojeda.
See, I tell him in the corner, sit down, catch him with that right hand, and do something a little different.
Back it up.
Yeah, you got it, Jack.
Add to it.
Put the left hook with it.
Left hook with it. Come back with another right hand. See where it gets you.
Like the great trainers, and there's not a million of them around anymore, but the real trainers, they used to say, why hit a guy with 1 when you can hit him with 2? Makes sense.
Another example there where he could have gotten to it. Meza Clay still coming forward, still dealing with that cut over the right eye. That was from a clash of heads. Meza Clay imploring him to fire away with a 1-2. Just another easy right hand for Ojeda. Final minute of the final round. Still trying to chase him down. Cut down the ring is Meza Clay.
So there are moments when you get close to Ojeda, he will do that lean forward we talked about in the fight. There it is
right there, but there's nothing coming after it.
There's nothing coming after it, exactly. Clay was not prepared for that. He should have been prepared for that, and he should have created that scenario where he could have gotten Ojeda in that vulnerable position where he does lean forward from the waist. But he never did.
Well, I'll tell you, Ojeda has traveled every square inch of this ring, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has. He's put a lot of miles on his canvas. I hope those shoes of his are fitted right. Otherwise, they have blisters. Yeah.
One last desperate surge from this play. As 10 rounds go in the book here in Hartford. The teacher from Puerto Rico. He wants a title shot at some point, working his way up the ladder. We'll hear from the judges when we come back.
I know it's the last.
Well, let's show you Teddy's scorecard at the end of Meza Clay and Ojeda. He's got it 99-91. Fans at home voting along on the Friday Night Fight Facebook page or ESPNVote.com gave it to Ojeda as well. Let's get the decision. For that, we go up to Dave Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' score totals. Richard Flaherty and Don Trella both scored this bout 99-91. Glenn Feldman scored this bout 98-92. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Reynaldo, El Maestro